Hi, Kenjin. Hi. Oh, okay. I'm in multi-stream. Sometimes I forget to go into multi-stream, and then everybody's texting, and I gotta turn the air conditioner on. It's hot in here, in my room at least. So how is everybody? If there's anybody besides Kenjin watching, hope everybody's doing good. It's been a pretty nice week, I guess. We just had rain. We had a thunderstorm for the first time in, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months. It's crazy. So that is really nice. That was nice for once. Really needed the rain. It's been very dry. It started to cool down a little bit, and it was dry and everything. But then, bye, Zagro. Sorry. Bye. But then it started to become really hot again, so we're we're in bad heat here already again, and I'm like, ah. But I have to be patient. It's another like 2 months or so, and then it'll be then it'll actually start cooling down a lot more, in January. So I can't wait for that. That'll be such a nice time. I'm always the happiest in those times. Hi, poor Judgment. How are ya? Oh, crap. Yeah, because right now it's just like I don't even want to go outside. I spend Samhain, Makostan, Halloween, whatever you want to call it. I had a fire, but I literally had a miniature fire. It was a miniature fire because it was so hot outside that I was like, I am not gonna sit here and make this huge elaborate fire when I'm gonna be sweating. Yeah, it was a little bit like, unfortunate. I hate that because I love being outside, but being in Florida, being outside, you can only be outside for like 2 months out of the year, and the rest of the time I'm locked in my really cold dungeon, you know. So, um, but it was nice nonetheless. I really wished it would have rained because last year that's what happened when I celebrated outside. It started raining at some point, and that was really nice. And it wasn't like pouring down, but it was a little bit of a little shower, and that was pretty nice. But not this year. It cooled down when about an hour after the sun went down. It started cooling down, but not really that much. So, but yeah, so I hope everybody's doing good. I'm glad to see Kenjin and Poor Judgment. I don't know who else is here, but I had my thing at the Black Mass on Saturday. That went really well. I didn't sell any paintings, but I made a lot of connections with people. They were really a lot of people that really liked my stuff, and they were very impressed, and I was very grateful for everybody's reaction to my stuff and everything. So yeah, that was cool. Made a lot of new, not friends, but a lot of new connections, people that maybe want to hire me for something, maybe want to commission me for something that they want. So it's good. I passed out a few business cards, so it's good. It's good. It was something, it was definitely something. So yeah, other than that, not much. Just working on my latest painting now. Going to really start getting into that this weekend. It will be Vlad Tepes. Yeah, it's always, I always think about that. I always think, that person might know somebody that really wants a painting, or needs a painting for the, we got Yule Krachun coming up, so maybe somebody wants me to make something for their mom, because I do everything. I do portraits, I do surrealism. You guys see it right here. These are all my paintings and my graphic designs and my drawings and everything. So I do everything. So you never know. I got a couple of friend requests, so it's good. It's good. Exposure, I guess. That's what we artists live on. It's like just, you know, breathing air, and that's it. So whatever. My big break is coming soon. I'm only 35. It will come. Never. Yeah, you never know. I had a former freaking supermodel come up to me and compliment my paintings and say I was so talented. That made me feel kind of good. So, and she asked me if I do wall paintings, and I said yes. So you never know. She might have an idea. She might want something on a particular wall, and I was like, oh my god, I can't find anybody that will do it or that can do it or whatever. I'll do it. You know me now. So yeah. So you never know. It's good. It's good. It's good. So, I'm optimistic. Let's put it that way. You gotta be. You gotta just stay optimistic and keep pushing. So that's what we gotta do. So this weekend nothing, but next weekend we're going to be at the what is it, kids? The Florida Metal Show or whatever it's called. It's the way she goes, bud. It's the way she fucking goes. Or the fucking way she goes. That's it. Yeah, I burned down your trailer, Ray. No big deal. I love that show. That's like the best show. If you feel down, put on some Trailer Park Boys. That's it. You'll feel better right away. Just any season between 1 and 7. After that, don't do that. So, but yeah. So we're gonna be in Tampa this weekend. Hey, Promethean, good to see you. Glad you could make it. B must have been good to deal with tonight. Easy to handle. I hope. Yeah. So anyway, let me get. Yeah. So I did pick out another topic that we can discuss tonight. But I was also going to say, so, if anybody has something they would like to discuss regarding, spiritualism, I would like to hear it. I would like to give the opportunity to other people to come forth and speak a little bit of their experience if they're interested. He was tonight. Good. That's good. Yeah, smooth night. That's good. I like to have those too, but always some shit goes down. You know what I mean? Oh, he was tired. I thought you said he was tonight, as in he was good tonight. He was tired. Okay. Yeah. Well, then that I'm sure that was it. Very easy then. Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys are going to be like actively in the chat and want to talk about some stuff. I don't care. I'm always open. I have something prepared that we can discuss. But like I said, I really wanted to give the opportunity if anybody else would like to, bring something up or, has an idea. I would love that, because I always feel like I'm the one always like talking and always all that, and I really want to be able to bounce off of others sometimes, because I always just seem to be bouncing off what I say off of myself. So it would be nice if somebody else could say something about their experiences, and then I can bounce off of that and talk about that. He was good too, yeah. That's good. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, he seems to be a really good kid, man. That's good. That's really good. I'm really glad he has you. Yeah. We know how it is. Like, oftentimes parents nowadays, it's like, are they even parents? They like to call themselves that, but what can I say, right? I'm a cat mom, so I have no room to talk, right? Whatever. I'm still gonna talk. Yeah, so but I hope everybody's Halloween went well. I hope you guys had we're partying or we're doing whatever, and we're having a good time. You know, I always spend mine by myself because I guess nobody wants to join, so it's always me by myself. But I always make the best out of that, you know. Since I can always be prepared that I'm by myself, so I've kind of made it a part of like my me time. You know what I mean? So it's like it's for me. So, but I know you guys have kids and everything, so you probably went trick or treating and all that stuff. They don't come in our neighborhood. I think we're just a little bit too far down or something like that. So, you know, I because the first year that I lived here, I had everything true, true. Um and I'm a witness to certain things too. So that's what why I think I can have an opinion, you know. And I've experienced certain things when it comes to parenting and blah blah blah. So, but you know, I do feel kind of weird, you know, speaking of parenting and judging parents when I'm not a parent myself. You know what I mean? But it's like I feel like it's not so much. Sometimes I feel like it's not so much being a parent, but just being mature, right? I think it has something to do with that altogether anyway, you know. And I think I'm pretty mature. I think sometimes I'm actually a little too mature, whereas I'm a little too serious and stuff. But you know, and then some other days I'm the exact opposite. I'm not serious at all. So, whatever. Um, but yeah. So, let me read to you guys what I found. Okay, it's another part out of the book that I'm reading right now. Hold on one second. Yeah. So the again, what I was just saying, it's another paragraph out of the Secret Doctrine that I'm reading right now by Helena Blavatsky. So it's a longer book, and I'm coming along a little bit, you know, but I've been busy lately with doing other things, so I haven't been really reading so much. So I've also been having a problem talking. What the fuck, man? You guys are hearing that? I'm like, God damn it. I had that the other day. It's tired. I think I'm tired. I think that this black mass thing, it wore me out on Saturday, and I'm still kind of like recovering from it because I'm not used to going out anymore. It's been such a long time. It was months the last time I went out. So it was like, whoa, okay, I gotta like out like that, going all the way to Tampa and seeing a show and talking to people, you know, about my art and all that stuff, like, which is entertaining, but it's also a little bit of work, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to put your name out there, you're trying to do all that, so, you know, and then catching up with people that you haven't seen, some of them in years, like Jay. I hadn't seen him in like fucking a year or so, so it was like we caught up, you know, we had to catch up and everything, so I think I'm just tired, and I'm just like, but I feel good. I'm just tired because I'm not sleeping so well, and then fucking doors are being slammed at fucking 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. I'm like, oh, then why? You know, I'm like, why can't I sleep a little bit longer on my day off? Because people gotta slam doors. That's why. It's great. It's really great. So, but whatever, man. I have to pull through. It's okay. I have to work tomorrow, Friday, and then it's the weekend, and then I will be fucking free, home free. You know what I mean? So, I will push through. I will push through. So, okay. So I'm gonna read this to you guys, and then we're gonna just kind of dive into it. Of course, with Helena, she speaks very metaphorical sometimes, very poetically, very scientific, very like she has her own way, and sometimes it can be a little bit complex to understand, even to read, because even for me it is sometimes still difficult when I read somebody that's so intellectual and so articulate like Helena herself. Then it's like it's still hard for me, being from another country, that certain words I don't know how to properly pronounce them. You know, that's just it. So if I pronounce a word wrong, please, I want you guys to tell me and put it and explain to me how it's actually pronounced, right? It's going to be a little difficult, but it doesn't matter because I want to learn, right? I don't want to keep saying that's, then I pick up this word and then I keep saying that same word wrong all the time, and then I feel like an idiot because that is idiotic. And I don't want to be an idiot. Okay, so anyway. Sorry, guys. See, suddenly I can talk, and fast at that. It's because I'm getting excited. I'm getting my energy right now. I'm getting hyped up a little bit. Look at my little Halloween cup. I got it at the thrift store for $1. Look how big this thing is. It's huge. $1. I mean, granted, it's not like the sturdiest ceramic, but it's holding up. It's holding up so far, so I'm okay. So I'm gonna just read this, and we're gonna try to interpret it. That was my point of my little rant. Now we're gonna try to interpret it the best that we can, or I'm gonna interpret it, and you guys tell me about your opinion on this. But it's like I'm starting right in the middle, and I'm gonna stop right in the middle. You just gotta listen, and then you will connect the context, right? The occultists are taken to task for calling the cause of light, heat, sound, cohesion, magnetism, etc., a substance. Mr. Clerk Maxwell has stated that the pressure of strong sunlight on a square mile is about 3¼ pounds. It is, they are told, the energy of the myriad ether waves. And when they call it a substance impinging on that area, their explanation is proclaimed unscientific. There is no justification for such an accusation. In no way, as stated more than once before now, do the occultists dispute the explanations of science as affording a solution of the immediate objective agencies at work. Science only errs in believing that because it has detected in vibratory waves the proximate cause of these phenomena, it has therefore revealed all that lies beyond the threshold of sense. It merely traces the sequence of phenomena on a plane of effects, illusory projections from the region that occultism has long since penetrated. And the latter maintains that those etheric tremors are not, as asserted by science, set up by the vibrations of the molecules of known bodies, the matter of our terrestrial objective consciousness, but that we must seek for the ultimate causes of light, heat, etc., in matter existing in supersensuous states, however, as fully objective to the spiritual eye of man as a horse or a tree is to the ordinary mortal. Light and heat are the ghost or shadow of matter in motion. Such states can be perceived as the seer of the adept during the hours of trance under the Sushumna ray, the first of the 7 mystic rays of the sun. I'm going to just kind of stop right here. So let's take that in for a couple of minutes first, right? I can fucking start going on, blah, 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 but we got to kind of take that in first, right? Because we don't want to... Because sometimes when you have a subject, you want to really maintain the subject and not distort it by too much subjective interpretation of the topic, right? So we're gonna take that in. So let's start. What is she actually talking about? What do you guys believe is what the meaning of this is that she's saying? I don't know if you guys are going to participate, but I'm just gonna ask. So okay, so this is what we can do. Let's break it down because this is, yeah, that's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of it. I think what she's trying to um reiterate once again is that we are pretty much fully aware of anything that can be touched, that can be subtracted from each other and then put back together, like solve e coagula, right? This is the actually the satanic motto: solve, to solve, to dissolve, coming from the Latin word, e coagula, to coagulate, to bring back together. Okay, the rule of alchemy, pretty much, right? So as long as we can explain it in some kind of equation, it is considered science, right? It's considered proof, scientific proof, something to be taken seriously, right? Yeah, that's always her approach, Kenjin. It's metaphysics. That is her biggest approach, pretty much. I can. So let me just. I'm gonna send it to you in just one second, but I'm gonna repeat just the first part of this, right? Because this is what Kenjin is kind of like addressing right now. So we're already getting into a good thing. The occultists are taken to task for calling the cause of light, heat, sound, cohesion, magnetism, etc., a substance. Mr. Clerk Maxwell has stated that the pressure of strong sunlight on a square mile is about 3.25 pounds. It is, they are told, the energy of the myriad aether waves. And when they call it a substance impinging on that area, their explanation is proclaimed unscientific. We're just going to take that part apart as I'm sending you this, Promethean. So, pretty much, it's almost like once the scientist agrees with the, or once the occultist agrees with the scientist but calls it something that just makes sense, based on the research and education they have endured, but it doesn't fit with what the scientist interprets it as, believes as such, blah blah blah, they're called dumb. They're called like, no, you're drifting off, you're drifting, even by giving it a name that makes absolutely perfect sense, even so that maybe not it is not 100% determined exactly what it is, but so far can be, the name that they're using, is the correct for at that moment in time, right? Because they have not gone further than that. So, okay, so yeah, called they call it. So the scientists say the energy of the myriad aether waves, which is like very unscientific in itself, right? Because it's like ether, aether is not even really a thing, okay? But the scientists call it that. Now then but once it's considered a substance by the occultist, the explanation is proclaimed unscientific. So how is that possible? That is so contradictory, because the all the occultist is doing is trying to explain it, because the scientist has stopped. The scientist has stopped and has now said, okay, we have come to a halt because we cannot go any further here. I don't know what I think store. I think store. I think so. Is that maybe what she meant? I'm not sure. Oh, I think some. See, that's the thing. Also, of course, scientists are all humans, right? So I'm gonna go on with what you're saying. I do believe that some are different than others, right? Some scientists are scientists that are not easily. Yeah, simplistic. Okay, simplistic, but okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, and that's exactly what I was. I think I was talking too fast. I think you guys probably missed me there, but that's exactly what I was like branching out on earlier. Is that, but even so, they are very simplistic, and they are almost like, you could say, maybe old fashioned in a way, right? If that's the only way in that moment in time that this can be described, then that should be used, because this will most likely already be a step further of an explanation of something, just to come up with the term that the occultist did, than what the scientist has done, right? So the name can always be changed later on, right? The name should never be interpreted and treated as something unscientific, right? If the occultist has already reached past what the scientist has done just by even coming up with a name, problem is they don't ask enough questions, right? What is this name? Why are you saying this name? What does this mean? And then you go into the further science of the subject, right? But it's so, because a lot of scientists, like Blavatsky states, often are very arrogant. They feel that it is that they are, because they have the equations, right? They have proven things mathematically, chemically, physically, whatever, that they are superior. But they can never be superior if they stop there, if they stop looking, right? Because if you are a true scientist, you keep looking further. You may have to address metaphysics. You may have to address poetry. You may have to address metaphors in poetry. You have to address subjective metaphysical experiences from people. You have to do these things, because that is how we push further. Don't ever limit yourself, and that is something that Blavatsky always talks about. This is a big thing in pretty much everything that she says, and very much in this part that I read, is that scientists are so to relax on their explanations, but we have, you know, we have broken down so many things and discovered so many things and been able to scientifically prove these things, but you know, oftentimes never to its origin or to its tiniest molecule. You know what I mean? So there's always room to grow. Um, but the judgment is a huge thing. The judgment to look and search and use the tools that are not touchable, that are not visible, smellable, tastable, to try to use those tools to go further. They're very judgmental because in their eyes it's non-existent, right? They will call it a fata morgana, as the native Indians call it, like a vision is the objective, or they will call it delusions, maybe, when somebody has subjective experiences, right? They will always, because they themselves have never had these things occur to them, because they will never go astray from the path that they're on, which is a solid brick path, as science is, right? But it branches off. We have in recent years discovered that for instance, meditation is a wonderful way of disciplining yourself, helps with mental stability, emotional stability, all, even physically can help, right? It was called a joke just 10 years ago. Meditation, that's a joke, that's stupid. But our ancestors have known this for thousands of years, that this is a very good thing. And even now, science is actually taking in people, taking in subjects, saying, okay, meditate, and we're going to hook you up, and we're going to see what really occurs, with tremendous things, tremendous evidence that comes from this thing, to see that something that's not touchable, visible in any way like that, can still be something. It's not just thin air. There is something in that air, right? And now, because certain scientists said, you know what, I'm gonna not be arrogant, I'm gonna go over that threshold. You're crazy. No, I'm gonna do it, because of these brave scientists that are not arrogant, that went further. We have now discovered science, right? That's just how it is. That's why I always say magic is not really magic. Magic is undiscovered science, or not undiscovered, but unsolved, right? Because the equations have not been made yet, so it's not solved science yet. Yeah, of course. In the 1800s, it is just that I feel like, there might be more authors, female authors like that out there, that of course I have probably, not known about yet. Of course, I would never, I know a fraction. Like, it occurs to me more and more, the older I get, the more books I read. It's like I literally know a little tiny fraction of shit around me. And it's frustrating, because I will never be able to read as many books in my lifetime as I need to, in order to find the truths of the matters that really concern me, or that really concerns all of us. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, I should just stop reading altogether. What's the point? No, it's not. There's always wonderful things that occur. But yes, I that's true, Promethean, but I do think that she was one of the braver ones, right? She actually went public with these things. She didn't let men, because even still today, men are, it's a patriarchy that we live in. That's just how it is, right? But it has, of course, changed, because we have evolved. It's gotten better. But in the 1800s, you were a woman, that was a whole nother level, right? That was a whole fucking, like, being an author in general was already like, a woman cannot be an author, like, there's no way. And then being a woman of these things that people call witchcraft, that people call, is Satan, is Lucifer, the devil in those times. She brought that out and put it into books and wrote it down and traveled the world to to experience these things. And I think it's awesome. I think that I've been saying this lately a lot because I'm realizing this, but it's like I think they don't make them like that anymore. They don't make them like that anymore. And I'm not talking about, people want to say that they're bold these days, especially women with everything that's going on, or minorities, right? They say, "Oh, I'm bold." Um, but it's, they had these riots going on, for instance, in England recently, where they destroyed sunflowers by Van Gogh, right? With some mustard or shit that they sprayed on there. These people, and then they say about themselves that they're bold and they're going to change the future. No, this is not the people that change the future, because you have done the same thing that the people are adverse to. You've done just the same thing by doing that. You have destroyed something culturally very crucial and important, and there is no they say there's a message behind. I still to this day don't know what is this message. I don't know what is this message. No message, no substance. No, that's not how you change that. You have to be verbal. And I'm not talking about then you have other people that being derogatory, not just in a physical way as these people did, but also in a verbal way. People are just, they call themselves bold. They call themselves like they changed the future because now they're starting to use more foul language. They're starting to be more I don't know how to explain it more. I don't know, but I have, there's nobody has been around that I have witnessed in years that our generation, especially, we're 90s kids, most of us here, we have always, I think, deep inside yearned for some leader that will come up. Somebody we can say, oh my God, this person will lead us into the right future for a long time to come. You know what I mean? Somebody with a vision, somebody that understands the things that need to be done. So instead, it's been just a chaos and a disgusting display from the left as well as from the right. Like, and I'm a liberal, I'm a leftist all the way, right? And I'm just like, okay, I can understand the majority of this, but I can understand that there's so much that is wrong with both of these sides. And I'm also an extremist in a way, right? So I cannot say it's the extremity, but it is the extremity by the people and how they're going about the extremity, right? There's no systematic extremity. It's all just chaotic, and there's no thought, there's no substance, there's no understanding, there's no looking within yourself, right? It is a complete portrayal of ego, because none of these people that are trying to work for a cause have actually like drowned their ego first, or at least held their ego down and actually strove for something, and actually try to make a difference. I have not seen this. I have not seen this from any presidents recently. I have not seen this from any world leaders, right? And if there were, it was a slight try, right? Because it's all about what does the people think. It's all about re-election. It's all about politically correct, religiously correct. Still, unfortunately, that is I believe politically correct is not even the worst issue we're facing, because that only really goes for the people that are on the top and that have money to worry about, right? Losing money and losing corporations and losing partners and corporate ties, right? They have to worry about being politically correct. The little man, like we don't have to worry about being politically correct. We have nothing to lose. And even if we do, who we lose will not be a good follower, will not be a good helper in our cause anyway, right? That's why I've always said that I would probably really want to consider to getting into politics, because I think I can really fit there, right? In high school, I had an A in politics, and it was just something that I was good in, because it is it's complex, and it's complicated. People think it's so easy, it's not. That's why there's so much going on with that, and people only know the surface. There's like a tunnel of millions of tunnels down below the surface, where people are so simple to say this is a horrible politicians are all about money. It's not like that. It can be to the naked eye, right? But there's more that meets the eye. That's what people don't understand. That's again ego, fear, judgment, being judgmental. But the biggest problem is why I could most likely possibly never succeed in politics is because of my religious views, because I will never let my peers or even people above me steer me. I have long since learned how to deal with authority, but I will never be able to let them steer me away from my religious path, right? Or non-existent religious path, whatever you want to call it. Because if that is also depending on the country, but if I would like to become a politician in America, where I am currently at, I would have to be Christian, and I would have to be openly and like obtrusively Christian to the public in order for them to accept me in any way, because 90%, 95% of Americans are Christians. That's it. I stand no chance, because I will not stand, because we cannot know, but you can think that some of these politicians out there that are public, that are big people, that are say, God bless everything, they go home and they have pagan rituals all the time, and they deeply believe in the old gods, for instance, or they're Satanists or whatever. But to the public, so they can get reelected, because it's all about numbers, and it's all about money, it's all about publicity for a lot of them. And they sacrificed their own personal selves to become something that people want to see, but which I can still, okay, but no, not when it comes to your own personal beliefs, and you got to sacrifice your own personal way. But that's the thing, my beliefs are the ones that push me to want to change things, to want to do things in this life, But if you don't say it's Jesus driving you, you're already lost. You're not going to be elected. That's it. It's just because there's still more of the old-fashioned, more, you have older generations that have now drilled and brainwashed their children, and then their children into their brain about Christianity, right? That's the unfortunate part that I have to keep saying, but it is unfortunately Christianity that is that. Like pagans, Satanists, Luciferians, like all of these other Hindus, like Muslims, like, okay, well, but you know what I mean. It is always that Christian belief, that the Christian belief in faith itself, fine, it is just as any other faith. But how it is executed by the followers is the problem. That has always been the problem. That will remain the problem for a few hundred more years. And then, when we zoom it all out now, going back to what we were first talking about, it can be the same with the scientist. It doesn't have to be a religious person. It is all about the judgmental, the ignorant, the intolerant, and the ego. That's the problem. And I don't know. It's just I kind of digressed, and then I just went on this thing, and it's like, Dragunov for president, right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so it is kind of a sad thing, because we find ourselves here, the little the little people, and we're trying to make a difference. But what can we do? What can we do? Just whatever we're doing, whatever we're doing. And that's another reason why I'm trying to find, why I'm trying to create this sect of the dragon, right? This is another reason, because it could completely create a movement that we can all, just follow, and that we can strive, and we can. Hey, Gore, how's it going, man? Good to see you. But it's hard, because even now, a lot of you are so quiet in the stream. It's almost just like, I feel like I'm constantly on stage, and I'm constantly just talking, and I have nobody reciprocates what I'm saying, right? So it's like, okay, that's why that's why I haven't had any meetings with anybody in person, because nobody is really interested in doing this. It's really kind of sad, because I'm really trying to pull this together. But yeah, I am. So maybe one day we can have meetings where people will attend, where people will be actually like really involved in what I'm trying to do. But until then, I'll just keep this meeting, here every Wednesday, and you know, hope for the best. Hope that some of you will actually get into this, and be willing to discuss further and more. And like I said before, like, I'm always available on my Facebook Messenger too. It's right down here. You can always text me. We can communicate, outside of this. This is the whole point. I'm trying to make connections with like-minded people, because this is the beauty of what I'm doing. Spiritualism is for everyone, right? And it's such a vast topic that involves so many different aspects. So contact me at any time. I will definitely get back with you, and we'll definitely be able to talk and have good conversations. I'm always open to that, even if you want to call or whatever, because you guys do try to participate here in chat, but it's just kind of, it's limited. And I know a lot of people are very busy and have busy lives and stuff, but if you ever find yourself sitting there, and you're like, oh man, I feel such and such way, who can I talk to? Send me a text. I'm open. For conversations. So yeah, because I think the idea that I have is not a bad idea. It's just I actually need participants to join me on this quest for spiritual knowledge, spiritual enlightenment, because that's the game. That is it. So, but thank you guys that you guys are all here. I'm glad to see you. I hope everybody's doing well. Also wanted to bring up one more time that next weekend I will be in Tampa. I won't be presenting my art this time, because this time I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to just have a good time. I'm going to have a good time this time. No work for me. So I don't, because this weekend, I had to be kind of really stuck at my paintings the whole time, right? Most of the time. I had to stand there and watch my paintings, and if somebody's interested and everything, give them a card, information and everything. So this time, I'm not going to be able, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be just hanging around, hanging out, having a drink, talking to people, and listening to awesome bands. I'm not really exactly sure what bands are on that bill, but there's a couple bands that I really like, I think, that are playing. So, and the other bands I don't even actually really know. So yeah, next week, not this weekend, but next weekend. Thank you, Promethean. Yeah, I need to just be able to relax and just kind of let my brain, because I did feel, because I thought I was going to be able to do that this weekend, but I did feel that it was more like kind of work, right? Because it's like, I've been working in the service industry and as an entertainer and everything for such a long time that it's like when a customer speaks to you, a potential customer speaks to you, you kind of do change a little bit of your way on how you talk, and it is exhausting. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to come out, I don't want to say fucking shit right away, right? Because I don't want to come off immediately like, oh, she's a little, And you guys know I don't curse that much, but I do, and Kenjin likes to call it brash. I am very brash sometimes, right? So, and it's a good word. It's a good word to use. But it's like, I don't want to be like that to the potential client, right? So as soon as somebody talks to me, I'm like, I take it down like 5 notches, and I'm like kind of like a little bit of a Mother Mary here, you know what I mean? So because I don't want to scare them away. I want them to know I am not, I'm very, I can be very quiet too, and I can be very much like that too, and I'm in my own little realm. But when I'm at a show like that, I'm more uppity, and I'm more talking and everything. So when somebody comes up and asks about my paintings and they don't know me, I'm like, yes, I did those. Like I kind of changed my way a little bit. It's like I hate doing that, but I'm not fake. It's not fake, because fake would be, yeah, thank you. It's not. No, I don't even talk to my guests like that either, right? But I do get a little bit more on the, a little more somber side of myself, a little more, I don't know. So this weekend, or not this, oh my God, see, I confused you guys now. Next weekend, Brass Mug in Tampa. I will be there. I won't bring any of my stuff, but I will have my card. I will have information. But if you go in my about info on Twitch, you can see everything that I have. My contact information, everything. Contact me. Of artwork, contact me about my sect here that I have begun. Contact me. No worries, okay? But I will be there, and I will be just hanging out, having a good time, headbanging a little bit, enjoying myself for once, no work for Dragana, because it felt like work a little bit, last weekend, because like I said, I had to, and I couldn't really, and then of course you always you have the nervousness because there's so many people, and you think, oh, maybe somebody is drunk and they're falling into one of my paintings or whatever happens. So I'm like, oh God, so I keep on looking over there. I'm like, okay, everything is okay, so I don't want to have to do that. I want to just walk around and have a good time, so I'm excited about it. I'm excited to go, and my friends, I want to really say that recently my friends have really been pulling through. Of course, Kanjin, Necro has really been pulling through. He lives here with us now, dude. He already got his job. He's already it's fucking going good, dude. Going good. Fucking Brian, Melissa, they took us last week to the Brass Mark, so because of them, I was able to present my stuff, and it's like, these are good friends. Of course, Zagros, right? Zagros always ready to help. He was gonna take me at first, but I said, you don't have to worry about it. My other friends, like recently, friends have become supporters, and supporters have become friends too, in a way, right? And it's just kind of like, it's going good. This aspect is really going good, and I can really say that it has my depressive tendencies really on a little bit of a halt, and it has me, content, but mostly it has me relaxed. It has me relaxed because I feel like I'm not 100% alone. I feel like there are people there, right? Of course, Promethean has always been my best friend through everything, all the way, all the time. But it is a little crappy you're so far away, you know what I mean? So it's like, So I always knew you were there, but it was like, knowing that there's other people too is like, it's a relief. It's a relief because I do, this is a big word, and this is a big shoes to fill when you use that word, but legacy, right, is the word. But I do try to have some kind of legacy. When I'm no longer on this plane of existence, I leave behind these paintings, I leave behind writings, I leave behind music, right? So I leave stuff behind. So which I always know that people will find value in, right? I'm not saying this in arrogance, like you know, everybody will love my stuff, but it's not that. But I do, I can see that I'm not a bad artist and I'm not a bad writer. I can bring good things to people, good things to the table. But when I die and my funeral occurs, then who stands there? That's really more that I think about all the time. It's like, who stands there when I die, right? So the more I get to spend time with these friends, these people that I consider friends, the more these people really go out of their way. I try to go out of my way to do little things that I can't do for them too. Then I can know that there will be some legacy left behind, right? Um, I'm gonna warn you guys now. A lot of you don't know, but I'm gonna just bring that up real quick. Might be the only time, might be the last time, but maybe not. I don't know, but I write a lot, guys. I write a lot of stuff. I have written a lot of stuff, from poetry to everything. I have two or lyrics, of course, too. Well, lyrics, I have written about 800 lyrics in, yeah, 800 songs in about 20 years. I've written about 800 songs, which I have, which, I mean, I started the stuff then when I was like 20 years. So I started that stuff when I was 15, right? I really started when I was 13. So I should say I've been doing this for, my God, 22 years? Are you kidding me? I've been doing this for 22 years. Oh, wow. Oh my God. I'm kind of okay, so for 22 years, in 22 years, I have written 800 lyrics, right? And then in the last, let's say, like 6 years, I have written, and then I had a diary throughout, like, about 10 years of that, okay? Then I have, written almost a whole book of a dream journal, a magic journal, like a spell journal, like rituals that I've done where it was an actual outcome. And then I have 2 books of shadows, and then I have all my poetry and all my statements that I have also written, interpretations and such statements. Those I have started really kind of writing like in the last 4 years or so. So yeah, you guys, Promethean, Kenjin, Raleigh, which is not here, he's at work, but Necro, Melissa, Brian, you guys will be having to read through a lot of stuff, because some of these things that I have written, I think some can be good. You guys might be able to, I'm gonna try to, when I die, I'm gonna try to leave my things evenly. I'm gonna make my decision who gets what. But of course, a lot of it will go to my brother, right? But it's like, I really hope there's some money to be made, right? I hope that there can be a community built. There can be houses bought for each of you, or I don't know, maybe. I hope, because I have so many written things that I really hope there's that one thing where somebody says in there, like, they're going to be just, like, so blown away, and this is going to make, like, millions, right? I have that hope. for you guys, because I won't be there. I will be gone. But for you guys, man, when that time comes, man, and you better fucking believe it, I'll be up there in Valhalla, and I'll be looking down, and I'll be like, why can I not have this in life? It's okay. Another drink with Odin. Shit. No, but something like that, right? We don't know. We don't know what happens, but yeah, I hope. Or one of my paintings, they say I did some kind of brush stroke on there. It's like only Leonardo da Vinci did this and this. She did it. Fucking $50 billion. You guys are fine forever. Your kids are fine forever. Don't worry about it. Nobody will have to struggle. That was always my hope, right? Because of course, if I'm alive, I gotta look out for myself, right? Because I'm trying to keep myself good with everything that I do, so I can get this, But when I die, then whatever. Here, have it all. What am I gonna do? Nothing. When I die, I take nothing with me. So yeah, my point is, you guys are gonna have a lot to go through and read through, and I'm probably gonna hide stuff or scratch out stuff that I don't want you guys to see. No, I talk about a lot of personal things in my diaries and stuff. So, but some things are funny too. It is always so fun. You guys notice that whenever you come across like memories on Facebook and shit, and you're like, oh my god, I posted that, like, that was you a year ago on Facebook. I've seen like the ones that are like 10 years ago, and I see what I posted. I'm like, but then again, I was like fucking in my 20s, right? So it's like, okay, I was young and dumb, so it's okay. But it is funny when you read something, because sometimes I do that when I have to put new, because I have a whole box full with these writings, with most of these writings. But it's not just those writings in there. It's a bunch of memorabilia, right? It has like cigarette packs from Germany, for instance, that I brought over that have the warning labels, like things like that. Things that people have made for me, cards that people have made for me, artwork, trinkets that people have given me, all of these things in this box. So it's always like whenever, once in a while when I put somebody give me a birthday card or something, I put it in there, and I see something, I'm like, wait a minute, I dig, and I pull it out, and I see one of my writings, I'm like, stuff that shit in there. I was fucking weird. But yeah, that's why I always know when the fucking Keanu, love it, whenever I'm afraid that a tornado can hit the house, whenever we have tornado season or something, I always have this compartment in my brain where I know there is one box that is, there's my jewelry, and my jewelry box that gotta be shoved in the car, and my memory box that gotta be shoved in the car, and everything else gotta leave behind. But these things have to come, right? Because they have pictures, that's it, If that ever happens, then I can tell my brother right away, pack this in this box and pack my jewelry. That's it. Get out of there. But normally when this type of thing happens, when a tornado happens, it's too late already anyway. We can only hope. But this house has been around since 38, so toi toi toi, drück die Daumen, press your thumbs, knock on wood, Klopf auf Holz. It'll stay like this for another 100 years, So, yeah. But I digressed once again, but that's okay. So we have kind of now talked about what we believe is the thing, this first little paragraph, right? So that whatever pretty much the occultist speaks and uses as a term for something that has not been proven in an equation yet, on paper, in any kind of module or whatever, considered unscientific by scientists at the time in the 1800s, in the 19th century. Sad, but what can you do? So we're gonna just read that next paragraph, and we're gonna expand on that again. There is no justification for such an accusation. In no way, as stated more than once before now, do the occultists dispute the explanations of science, right? They don't. They look past it, though, as affording a solution of the immediate objective agencies at work, right? What's at hand is at hand. We understand that. as occultist. I consider myself an occultist too, of course. Science only errs in believing that because it has detected in vibratory waves the proximate cause of these phenomena, it has therefore revealed all that lies beyond the threshold of sense. Right? That's the problem. Errors, like it's erroneous, it's incorrect by stunting anything that goes past of what has already been scientifically proven. That's my interpretation. Correct me if I'm wrong. It merely traces the sequence of phenomena on a plane of effects. Exactly. Well, the sequence. Yeah, okay, the sequence can be the right word. Could also kind of, yeah. Yeah, sequence is maybe a little bit of a too specific word. But yeah, sequence, the occurrence of phenomena on a plane of effects, right? Well, I guess sequence is right. Okay, yeah. Sequence, illusory projections from the region that occultism has long since penetrated, right? Now actually telling that we occultists have already discovered these things that the scientists are still looking for, but because of the belief system and their navigational system belief system in their head, they refuse, in a way, ignorance, intolerance, to look past. Right, illusory projections, right? Illusion, because it's elusive, right? It's not like, see, it's hard for me to explain certain things, but I think you guys know what it means, right? I'm just gonna hope you guys know what it means, because I know what it means, but it's hard for me to explain what it means. I don't know if that made any fucking sense at all. And the latter maintains that those etheric tremors, illusory projections, are not, as asserted by science, set up by the vibrations of the molecules of known bodies, the matter of our terrestrial objective consciousness, but that we must seek for the ultimate causes of light, heat, etc., in matter existing in supersensuous states, however, as fully objective to the spiritual eye of man as a horse or a tree is to the ordinary mortal. I love that. I love that whole thing. Let's break it down. So, that these tremors are not, as asserted by science, set up by the vibrations of the molecules of known bodies, the matter of our terrestrial objective consciousness, our earthly objective from the outside soul consciousness, but that we must seek for the ultimate causes of light in light, heat, blah, blah, in matter existing in supersensuous states. Supersensuous, higher, your higher self. You can meditate yourself into this. You can egg your consciousness into it with help of meditation, etc., states, the supersensuous states, however, as fully objective to the spiritual eye of man. For us spiritual people, for us occultists, it is objective. This is not a subjective. So, whatever. I'm about to digress, so I'm not going to do it. But it is absolutely an objective experience. It's actually an absolutely objective thing that occurs. Just it's not written in an equation yet. Objective to the spiritual eye of man, right? Because with our spirit, we can see, we can experience these things. They are very true, and they're very real, and they're very scientific, and they're very proven. Okay? Um, as a horse or a tree is to the ordinary mortal, right? It's just as natural to us as looking at a tree for a person that doesn't believe, that cannot interpret, feel, see, smell, whatever the things that we do, or experience the things that we do. Because we look, because we pay attention, because we concentrate, because we focus. Light and heat are the ghost or shadow of matter in motion. I don't really have to expand much on that, right? It makes just perfect sense. Absolutely, absolutely. That is exactly that. To bridge the gap between the two is 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 pretty much the goal, because and it is occurring. That's the wonderful thing. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So it is the future. It is the evolution of us, because again, that brings it down to what I told you guys before, that there has not just occurred a physical evolution in all beings on this planet, but a spiritual evolution, a conscious, cognitive evolution has occurred too, that has been completely disregarded. Not to say that it didn't occur from our physical evolution, right? Our cognitive abilities could have grown because our organs grew or shrunk or whatever occurred in order for this to happen, right? That's what I mean. It is all connected. It is all science. But we must consider any occultist work, any religious works, at least religious works that work within spirituality, that work within mental fitness, within emotional progress, right? All of these things, we have to consider this. That has to be put in consideration by scientists, and we are starting to really bridge that gap between the two. Like I said earlier, we have now really you can go even okay, even chiropractors were called, frauds. They were called fraud. That's a very real thing. It's a temporary thing. It's not as good as you think, but it does do thing. What do you call it with the needles? Our acupuncture was considered complete hocus pocus. I remember when they first started talking about this publicly. It was, I believe, in the late '90s, when I was a teenager, right? It was like they talked about acupuncture, and people were losing their shit. Like, oh my god, this is horrendous. This is horrendous. They're poking you with a needle. Like, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. No, there's really, really, really substantial things now that have occurred that underline that, depending on what kind of condition you have, it can be very substantial for you. It can be very helpful for you. Meditation, working in yoga. Yoga is now the thing. Yoga has now become the thing in the last 10 years. And it's like, okay, people used to laugh about that shit, right? People used to be like, yo, you do yoga? That's so ridiculous. And I'm like, I was even one of those people that was like, yoga, that's just like, okay. I was still learning, right? I was still getting into all of these things, right? So then you're like, okay, so suddenly science comes out and says, yeah, and here is why yoga is beneficial for you, and they will explain it to you. They will literally explain the scientific background behind it, about how stretching your muscles releases certain chemicals within your muscles that need to be released, because if you just sit in like one area like this all the time, right, and then it will actually further go to your endorphins and actually make your endorphins work how they're supposed to work. That's why exercise is so important. Exercise was in the 90s. Exercise was considered, you you get fit, you get your body fit. It was never considered that it was really something that well, I mean, it was by the little people, right? But it wasn't blown up big yet. That it was anything beneficial in any mental or emotional way. But it is. It has now been scientifically proven that working out, that doing a sport is very beneficial for you. And it's really weird because I was an athlete at that time, and I could always understand that connection between the physical, the mental, and the emotional relief that you can feel from doing physical exercises. That I think that is a huge lack in my life, is physical exercise. um that for my mental stability. That's why I like to meditate, because I pretty much replace one with the other, right? Because, and this is not an excuse, but it really is. Here in Florida, the way the weather is an absolute, it's atrocious, right? And I'm a jogger, right? I mean, as an athlete, I played the team sports, but jogging was always the thing through my family. My father would jog every day. In Germany, jogging with my team, jogging is the thing. It is just the thing that keeps you, 30 minutes a day. My dad always said, that's all you got to do. You got to jog for 30 minutes a day and you'll be fine. But it's like, during the winter months, I want to put on my shoes and I want to really go out there and do that. And I want to jog every day. I have no laziness or no, like, I don't want to do. No, it's not like that at all. The problem is, if I start that during the winter months and then summer comes and then I stop, that is not good. That is not a good, that will be a very, very extreme yo-yo effect. Because I know that in the summer, I'm really going to sit there and be like, nah, I don't want to do this. I will, because it's so hot and it's just like, the sweating is great. The sweating is always good. That is one of those things, because you're burning calories, you're burning fat, and it helps with your endorphins. Like, it's release, all of this releases stuff, cardio releases stuff. The problem is the air outside is so thick and so humid and so heavy with heat that you can't even breathe. It's normally. It's just a really and the times that I would actually be able to do it would be at times where the sun is like extremely high in the sky. I mean, I could do it at night, but even at night, that's the thing with Florida too. If you're in California and the sun goes down, it will cool down. It will most of the time always cool down. Not in Florida. The sun goes down, the heat stays exactly the same. It's not excruciating anymore. It's actually, you can deal with it, but it's still ridiculous. So I have gotten myself a treadmill before, but it was like, the feeling of the motion afterwards and everything, this unnatural feeling, it was not, I didn't like that. But so the meditation, it's because I have a hard time often to focus and concentrate. Meditation is really just like a half replacement for when I was an athlete, right? It really is. But that is also another reason why, for instance, live performances with my band is always, that is a physical thing. That is really something where I do sweat. I do actually do, and I can feel it. I can absolutely feel this helping me. That's why, hopefully if the drummer situation regulates, I can have live performances with my band again. That's going to be, once again, my workout, and that will keep me afloat a little bit better. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, we're drifting off again. Potentially gain a higher state of being in both social constructs and intrinsic awareness. In everything, really. Definitely social constructs. Yeah, there's so much things. I read this book one time too. It was called The Urban Monk. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It's just a shorter book. It's not too long, but it's really kind of a really essential book. I really like this book because it really has so many points on how to it's really good, like it's a guidebook on mental health, emotional health, cognitive consciousness, about even physical health. For instance, there's a chapter in it that's all about fasting, right? Now, now we can always connect religion with fasting, right? In every religion there's some kind of ritual in a way that has to do with fasting, where you don't, for instance, you got the Christians, they don't eat meat on Friday, right? They eat fish, right? Of course they will explain to you the religious behind it, but the better thing yet is what we're discovering, where's the truth in it. Let's not ridicule this, but let's look why was that something that somebody came up with, be it Jesus or whoever, right? That said, okay, so why no meat on Fridays? Why can you eat fish on Fridays, but you cannot eat any meat? Okay, so now we can know now. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but for instance, when it comes to this fasting, when this urban monk, the man, I forget the name of the author now, credits to the author, I don't know, I forget, but he wrote about that fasting. He brought up fasting when he first talked about it. He said, yeah, it's okay to really fast for like 2-3 days and not eat any meat at all, right? And at the time I was not vegetarian yet, and I ate meat every day. And when I read that, I was like, okay, so what is this now? Is this like some kind of religious thing again? Because we pagans don't really have that. We do, but I'll get to that in a different way, right? It's not really God's related. It is actually health related, right? Because here's the thing. He then continues to talk about it and explains why this is the right thing to do. Because oftentimes people write something down and tell you, oh, this is what you need to do, but they never actually go into detail. They go into a little bit like, okay, you should do it because of this. They give you one sentence of explanation, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's not enough for me, so I'm not going to do it. Or, I'm going to have to research this some more. Now, he really kind of explains it better. He explains that by eating meat, you are loading your body. It's not bad. It's not, like, bad for you, at least. I mean, I can know it's bad. I can think it's bad. But he is not saying it's bad. But what he is saying, what he is addressing, is the fact that when you eat meat, you're loading your body with irons, which they're excessive irons. They're irons that you don't really need so much, right? Unless you are like anemic, or if you're a woman, has heavy periods, these type of things, right? You have a loss of this iron that level that you're supposed to maintain as a human. You can really use eating a heavier meat diet, red meat preferably, because it's rich in iron, and you can replenish your iron that way. Now, if you're a person that does not have such deficiencies, you will essentially overload your body with unnecessary irons in your body. So for you to cleanse yourself of these, you just don't eat 2 to 3 days worth of meat, of iron, because because they're heavy. They're heavy in your system. These are not things that help you so much. These are not things that really, the protein is different from the iron, right? And even protein, as has recently established, we've known this in Europe for a long time, but recently, finally, America has understand that protein is not really that good for you. Protein is not that good at all, especially when you are a person that does not have much exercise at all. Protein will become pretty much fat, and it will just stick there, and you will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's unhealthy for you. It gets your cholesterol high. It's unhealthy for you. If you are a person that exercises a lot, you need the protein, because your body fuels through that stuff. It burns it off. But if you don't exercise, limit your protein. Limit your protein. In Europe, we have the rule you eat 2 eggs a week. Anything more is absolutely bad for you. Bad for you. So now Americans eat eggs every day. It is not good. It's not good. I can only tell you. Look it up. Read it. It's not good for you. Over time, right? Over years, it's not a good thing. So anyway, so the irons, you can cleanse your body by just maybe for 2-3 days you don't eat so much high iron diet, like steak, or you eat a burger, or you know, these things, because your body needs this cleansing. And it's also these myths about, you got to put lemon and you got to put cucumber in your water to cleanse your system. It's crap. It has nothing to do with that. It is the water itself. You have to drink immense amount of water. None of us drink enough water as we need to drink ever, really, because we have to drink so much water in order to always stay hydrated. I can tell you right now that if I were to, for some reason, go to the hospital right now, I would guarantee you they would put me on hydration IV. They would say I'm dehydrated, and they will probably do this for many, because it's just really difficult. We all have rush day. We do whatever, and we just don't drink enough. That's just how it is, because you can't sit there all day and drink. That's part of our body is going to evolve into the direction in thousands of years from now where we don't need to drink so much water anymore. It's going to be probably just my theory, my thought, part of our evolution, right? Evolution of our body. So the point is, when these people tell you, you got to put lemon, you got to put cucumber, you got to put all that shit in there, it's not no, that's not what cleanses your system. What it is like the more you use the bathroom, the better. That is just how it is, because you're flushing, because your kidneys are actually working really well, right? They're flushing these toxins out of your body. Toxins, whatever. Some of them are toxins, but they're flushing these things out of your body. So it doesn't matter if you just drink a lot of water; it will help you flush your system. You don't have to put cucumber, you don't have to put lemon, you don't have to do none of that shit to make it taste better. Sure, but even if you put lemon, it has sugar in it already, again, which is already bad for you. Natural sugar, if you use natural 100% organic lemon juice, but still it's sugar that you really probably don't need if you don't exercise, because sugar equals into carbs equals into getting big and getting unhealthy, right? So anyway, I was an athlete for a long time. My father was a pro, and that's how I know all these things, because I had to learn all these things when I did this. So it works the same way when you stop anything. You can do this with anything. You don't have to stop. If they say, you have too much protein in your diet, too much cholesterol, huh? You know what to do. You got to cut down. You guys don't eat so much. Also meat, and don't eat so much eggs and stuff like that. Cut down on that. For more on those dietary tips, no, but but these are all things that contribute, because all of these things, your body, everything contributes to your mental and emotional health. That's it. Because who wants to look in the mirror and say, "Oh man," and be like, I look fat and I don't like feeling that way and I don't like being fat. I gotta do something. Or who looks in the mirror and says, "I'm way too skinny. Like, I look like a toothpick. I don't feel, this is not good. I don't like it." Right? Right there, even just having that is subconsciously in there, and you think about that all the time. I personally think about my diet 24/7. I watch everything I take in me, everything I drink, and everything I eat, I consider. Because I am very much to gain too much weight, because my exercise is very limited. So I have to, because the problem is, having a little bit overweight is not the problem. The problem is that once you have reached a threshold, it just becomes way worse, and then it becomes way more difficult to get these pounds off of you. And because it becomes way worse, that will be very hard on your heart, on your blood pressure, on your feet, on everything. So just try to catch it before it happens, right? And when you're really skinny and you don't like that, then a little bit more protein in your diet can be very beneficial for you. Don't overdo it now, right? Because like I said, the cholesterol can still be bad for you whether you're skinny or big. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, but you know what I mean. So all of these things were used to considered pseudoscience, considered nonsense, blah blah blah. This is all now absolutely true. It is absolutely science now. People send you to somebody that is specifically educated in diet, right, to maintain your body. They send you to somebody specifically focused on yoga, like a master, in meditation. All of these things, doctors will literally prescribe these things to you now. So these are all huge things. Oh, Florida Mel, you're here. Yeah, see, I can know. See, you have had this. You can know what works. For me, sometimes I really sit there and I get a headache, right? And it's like, I tell somebody I have a headache, and then this Kenjin, right? I'll tell Kenjin I have a headache, and Kenjin was the one that actually made me pay attention to it more about my water intake. And he would say, "Oh, you got a headache?" He's like, "You probably need to drink some water. You're probably dehydrated." And I'm telling you, I shit you not, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly the reason. Of course, it's not like you drink one glass of water. You really have to drink one glass of water. You wait 10 minutes, then you drink another glass of water. You wait another 10 minutes, and then you drink a third glass of water, maybe a fourth, and then you will feel a difference. At least me, 9 times out of 10, my headache will most of the time completely go away or lessen because I was dehydrated. Because sometimes we don't realize. This is something that has also to do with knowing your body, knowing yourself. It has to do with meditation, right? You really have to be in tune with yourself. I like to think I'm very in tune with my body, not as much as I would like to be. I can know this recently, especially like I'm noticing that I'm still very much lacking the knowledge of my body, but I am getting better at it. I guess it's something that you just kind of learn as you age, right? But I know this now. This is like this thing. When I get a headache, before I grab my Tylenol, which I rarely ever do anyway. I only do it when my headache is like really bad, is when I actually take something for it. But before I even reach for that, I'm going to drink 3 glasses of water, 4 glasses of water, and watch the fucking, and you don't even notice it because the human, like the consciousness of the brain is so wired that you become accustomed to something so fast that you don't even realize that headache is now suddenly gone. So then you consciously suddenly you're like, wait a minute, didn't I not have a headache like 10 minutes ago? Oh, it's gone now. There it is. Because because you drank the water, or even because you didn't think about that headache for a minute. That was always something that my mother taught me. Is like, if you can get your mind off of it for a certain amount of minutes, and then you want to come back to it, it's not going to be there anymore, because all it took was your mental strength to wear away from this thing, whatever it was, to be able to. It, of course, it doesn't. You have to be extremely mentally trained for it to work all the time with everything, but it works more often than not, guys. I tell you, really, it really does. Really have to. But it's not even that we can say, that's bullshit. No, it's like, how good are we at waging our concentration to something else, and focusing on something else suddenly and doing this stuff, how good are we at doing that? well can we focus, if we're not exhausted, if we're not tired. It is, sometimes you have to force yourself. That is, at first, feels like it's not natural, and like I should not force myself to do such thing. But the force is just the push to shove. For that 1 minute, you push yourself, and then you are already in it. And then, that goes for meditation, for everything. Then everything after that comes flooding through. And it's funny because I like to be the preacher here about this, and I should follow my own advice sometimes, which I do, but it's like, you know, I don't know. I got to do it more. I got to do more of what I say. I got to do myself more. I do it, but yeah. So doors are slamming again in my house. I don't know why. This door closes so easily. All you gotta do is like literally put your finger, and it'll close on its own. And all I hear is BAM! Fuck's sake. Aggravating. But anyway. So, did we actually discuss the entirety of this? Let me see. Okay, no, we didn't. Okay, so ultimate color, heat, light and heat are the ghost or shadow of matter in motion. Okay, so that's gonna be a little tricky to talk about. Because light, you cannot physically grab it at all. You cannot smell it. You cannot taste it. You can't do anything with it. You can see it. You can see it in its vast form. Under a microscope, you can see it in the, but with the naked eye, you can see it around you. You can see it when you look at the sun. You can see it as ambiently, I could say, right? Heat, you can see it rising off the streets. You can, in that sense, wherever really heat is, and it comes to lower temperature, then you can see the ripples of the heat, right? You can see it, okay, but you cannot really you can feel it, but you cannot actually touch heat, right? So this is why she calls it the shadow of matter in motion. Exactly. So the matter is whatever makes heat, whatever creates light, is the matter that is in motion and leaves behind heat and light. That's how I interpret that. Such states can be perceived by the seer or the adept during the hours of trance under the Sushumna ray, the first of the 7 mystic rays of the sun. So this is now where she's, hey Necro, hey, hail. Inside joke. I don't know if you saw me or not, but inside conspiracy joke, I should say. But yeah, so pretty much she's given, to me it seems like she's given a little bit of a way of when and how and with what tool you meditate on this particular subject, right? But I say it is actually subjective. I have found that, when I first started getting into rituals, into shamanism, it was always something, I was literally 8 or 9 years old, like I said before. So it was at the time for many years until I turned probably about 16 or so. So for like 7 years, I followed stuff that other people had written. I followed rituals, I followed tasks, I followed meditations, everything that other people had written, until I came across somebody writing that it is completely not necessary for you to do exactly as you're told in other books. It is very natural and very great and very normal to do things your own way. And at first I was appalled when I read that. I was like, wow, this person is crazy. Like, no way, you cannot steer away from your path and whatever. You cannot steer away from what these people are writing. You have to do it exactly that way or it's not going to work, right? Of course, I was a teenager. That was my first instinct, because it's just like everybody else. If you say something about my religion or my belief or anything like that, like, you're the bad person, you're crazy. But then as I was like, okay. On second thought, I was like, okay. So I read more and more, and then I came across more and more, and then I just suddenly started reading things, and I became flooded with authors and scientists and witches and magicians and shamans and shamanka and whatever else you want to call it, that speak of what they did, how they created their own and everything. And then you start thinking, wow, I can actually create my own. And then you start creating your own. At first I was nervous because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm very worried that this is not going to take fruit, that this is not going to succeed, and that I'm going to look like a total fool for listening to these other people. That never occurred. I have since written my own rituals. I have since come up with my own spells, with my own ways of doing all of it. And it's perfectly fine. And it's actually so much more potent, I should say, right? Because anything, in my opinion, that is written that tells you, like, has boundaries in that kind of sort of your own self-expression, that's wrong. That it's limiting you. It's limiting you. And we already live in such a limiting society. We limit ourselves daily, 24/7. We don't even realize that. I've been realizing this, like, within the last, like, 2 years or so, that I'm just limiting myself in my entire being all the time to please others, to please onlookers, to please friends, to please family members, people around me, everything. And I'm starting to really be like, no, I'm done pleasing everybody. I am absolutely over it. I will please myself now, because I please everybody. Nobody is pleasing me. The point is already gone. Even if they would please me, it's still wrong. We should not live in a society, in a world, on a planet, in a universe where we cannot be what we really need to be and be at our full potential. Whether we look crazy to others, or whether they're annoyed, or whether they're mad, or whether they fucking talk behind your back, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want, as long as it fulfills you. Don't harm any creatures, right? But unless it's in defense of your family, your land, or yourself. But whatever. But so it is, like, that's why the pagan religion is such a, I hate naming it a religion. It's more of a culture to me than anything else, because it doesn't give you such limitations in any way. If anything, it encourages you to bloom more like a flower, and to branch off of stories long told, right, from long time ago, right? You make your own stories. So, and I can say that it is really because even pagan religions differ from each other. Okay, now, because I can say that because my culture and my inner beliefs are pretty much stitched together out of satanic ritualism, satanic magic, to Slavic paganism and Germanic paganism, right? Stitched together. Now, the biggest part is that for instance, Slavic paganism is an absolutely, completely 100% against any type of physical or blood sacrifice. They say that the gods frown upon it tremendously. They view it as, why you as a mortal on Midgard, on Earth, would you believe that your blood is worth so much giving to us? They look at it as in a disgust. They view it as a complete disgrace to the gods. Whereas in the Germanic paganism is pretty much the complete opposite, right? The more of yourself you can offer to any ritual in any way, the better. And if it's blood of yourself, go for it. Pretty much is all freedom at hand, right? All freedom. So it conflicts me. Now in Satanism, it is whatever you want it to be, because there's no, in quotes, gods to please. It is just to please yourself, right? So I find myself conflicted. I say to myself, geez, the fuck am I supposed to do here? Do not listen. Do not listen, because everything is built to further educate itself, to further evolve the science of it, and to further evolve it in general, right? So you be the part that evolves this along, okay? And I am. Depending on for me, it is really the feeling of within inside myself. How do I feel? I do a ritual today. How do I feel as I'm sitting there, actually about to start? Because there's a huge process on how I start my rituals before I actually do the actual ritual, right? There's so many candles to be lit. There's fucking incense to be. There's everything needs to be put in place. Blah blah blah. And then the ritual itself is like fucking like 2-3 minutes or whatever, and then you have like an ending to it, whatever. So it's like when you're about to attempt this ritual, you will know, you will have this feeling, this vision, this premonition, this spark. Something will guide you. Something is there to guide you into what you need to be doing or what you should not be doing. More often than not, I'm guided by my Germanic hand, but there are times where the somber gods will come through and put a veil over me and say, protect yourself today. Do not give life from yourself. It's not necessary. Keep it chill, pretty much, So yeah, so don't worry about any of that, That's the Germanic way, Necro, that's it. For me, there is one other factor that plays in with it too, right? Coming from this realm, rather, that is the blood is the life. Okay, so if I will never give anybody my blood unless I have to, right? But if I do, then it is to my ancestors. That's it. That is the most crucial to me. So because I feel like that is the biggest release of energy, one of the big three, I'd say, that that will probably heighten the outcome of the ritual, or maybe progress it faster, or maybe both. Because I've been doing this so long, I've seen really almost every angle of this, right? And it's that's actually something that I should totally start recording on, how depending on what I use and how I do it and everything, how did the ritual turn out. That would actually probably be another really good journal to have. But yeah, so so don't do what you will, of course. I'm not trying to tell you, but don't get conflicted, because everything still is energy bound, right? It doesn't matter. It's all magic and energy that we have not put our thumbprint on yet as humans, which we will, right? We are in the process already. So do not be discouraged as I was. I didn't have anybody to tell me not to be discouraged, but I tell you, do not be discouraged or conflicted. If you do feel conflicted, that's why I always tell you, you can always contact me. You can always send me a message here on Facebook. you can contact me. I can talk to you. I can give you advice. If I know, like my friend Alex, she will text me randomly. Like we won't talk for months, and then she will text me. She's like, "Listen, I think I have a spirit in my house. What can I do?" And I love it because I'm like, okay, there are like 3 ways you can do the, you know what I mean? But then I get to actually help somebody with my knowledge, right? So. And she texts me at 3 in the morning or something. It doesn't matter. Just text me. When I get to you, I will get, as soon as I can, I will get with you, and I will talk to you. That's why my whole thing is I mourn those in turmoil, right? Because there are many people out there that are in spiritual turmoil, and I mourn them. And when I say that, it's like, I mean, I want to reach out my hand and say, come to me. I can guide you. I can help you not feel this way anymore. So that's why I also always tell you guys, I give psychic readings too. My store here is Dragana's Apothecary. You can get a reading there, or you can get a reading from me on Facebook. You just contact me in Facebook Messenger. So yeah, whatever. Just give me a shout. Send me a text. I got my messenger always on. I mean, when I'm sleeping, but I'm only ever sleeping for like 5-6 hours every night. So the rest of the time, if I'm at work, I can't answer immediately either. But like I said, I get to you within an hour for sure. So feel free, and there's also no shame. I'm never ashamed. I love it when somebody can come to me, and this happens. Of course this happens, because I'm not fucking all, I don't know everything. But when somebody comes to me and they tell me something that I didn't know, I'm like, I love that. Because now I can put this in my compartment. Now I've learned something. I love that. I'm never scared or mad about being wrong. That's an ego thing. I'm not. I want to learn that, because knowledge is power. I know it sounds so fucking generic, but it is the truth. It really is. Knowledge is power. So please, if you ever see me or hear me say something wrong or something that you read is different, please say it. I want to know everything about it, because I'm not a know-it-all. But so if you text me or something, I actually know something about this, maybe you might feel that's valuable to you or interesting, please feel free. I want to. And yeah, do not be ashamed. Don't think that you're, sorry guys, my eyes been like watering all day. Do not think that it's a shame if you're gonna be like, I don't know, I feel like an idiot or something. No, don't feel like an idiot. Everybody's an idiot when they die. It doesn't matter if they're a genius. They're still a little bit of an idiot, because they did not know everything. There could be this little simplest thing that Einstein did not know when he died. Like, for instance, that, like, I don't know, that it takes that the max you cook an egg to keep it fucking from hardening is 3 minutes. He may have not known that. You don't know. He may have been like, that's why my eggs are always hard, because I cook it, no, he would have probably not said that. Take that back. Cut that out. But no, I'm just saying, like, honestly, they're these little stupid ass things, fucking shit that, for instance, there's so much shit that we know now that Einstein didn't know. So many things. So don't ever be afraid. You might know this, and this person knows this. You don't know this. This person doesn't know this. Well, I'm probably gonna be down here, and yeah, I'm probably gonna leave now, Florida. So I'm glad you came. Thank you for tuning in here. I'm glad everybody came. Kenjin said the most. I'm really happy about that, because Kenjin is usually the one that says the least, but he kind of said the most out of everybody tonight, so that's good. But fuck, my fucking eye. But yeah, I'm gonna go now probably, because I want to relax and just kind of get ready, because I gotta work tomorrow again, which is fucking bullshit, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth, a truth from me real quick. I really hoped I would sell one of these paintings this Saturday, so I could just pay my rent for December. And I could say, you know what, maybe I'm going to call in like 2 days or something for once. But Didn't happen. Oh well. Yeah, Necro, I'm glad you came, even after work and shit. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm gonna go, guys. I blabbered my mouth off, but I had a really good time. I think we really kind of covered some ground here tonight, and yeah, I really had a good time. So I hope you guys had a good time too. Follow me on my platforms. Shoot me a follow here on Twitch. That would be really awesome because I'm really trying to, get my 50 followers so I can become affiliate and feel better, right? So yeah, shoot me a follow on my Facebook and on my Twitch channel. It's in my about info. It can really help me. And if you do, I will always research you, and I will always go down into the rabbit hole and find out who you are, and I will like your stuff too. So don't think it's one-sided at all. If you're an artist, if you have stuff to show, I will find you, and I will also like your stuff and follow you on that stuff too. So I really hope you guys had a good time, and I didn't bore you so much with so much of my stuff. But I'm gonna go now. I want to say danke, thank you, hvala vam, and I see you next time. Let's mourn those in turmoil, and have a good night, guten Abend, gute